That is true. That is true. He is the hardest working man. I was intimidated around two people, Vince and the Undertaker. And Vince, just because I'd grown up watching him, he was always the announcer, and then he became the boss. And I didn't really ever get a strong relationship with him, but it was good enough because he liked Eugene. And if you are a character or somebody that gets over, he wants to use you because he's all about business. He's not rude, or he's not anything derogatory. He's not like that. He's focused on his business, and I get that. You remain on top if you have that kind of mindset. When you remember when Vince slid in the Royal Rumble and blew both of his knees and had surgery?
Yeah.
So I had surgery a month prior. I was in Birmingham doing therapy, and I knew where his hospital was in Birmingham. I just walked into his into his hospital room, and he hadn't shaven in a couple of days, and you never see him with the 5 o'clock shadow. And I told him, I said, "Hey, I'm here in Birmingham. If you need anything," I knew he had somebody there to go get him something, but I just wanted to pop in there. And I wish I would have sat a chair next to his bed and talked his ear off until he told me to get out. But I was so nervous. I was like, "Hey, just want to say hi, make sure everything's okay. I'll talk to you later." Stephanie McMahon called me a couple of days later and said, "Hey, that was really nice of you. We really appreciate it. But if there's one regret I have, not a whole lot of regrets, but one of them would be, I didn't just sit a chair down and just talk his ear off, until he forced me to leave or until we became best friends."
Yeah. Lucky you didn't go in with the bedpan like Steve Austin did when he was in the hospital.
I should have fed it to him so he hit me with it.
Did you ever get intimidated going out for pay-per-views, like nervous in the surroundings like of live television, huge crowds, worldwide audience? What did you think about all that aspect to things?
I'm sure that I did, but when I recall, I don't recall that. I'm sure like the first time I was a little bit nervous, and I'm sure the first match I had, I was a little bit nervous, but by that point, I'd wrestled for 8 years. So I call myself a 10-year overnight success. But a lot of the guys that were trained in OVW were now on TV. Batista, Randy Orton, Rob was already on TV. So I knew all the guys in the locker room. So the locker room environment wasn't intimidating or challenging. And I've been wrestling for 8 years, and it's the same thing. It's the same size ring, or pretty much the same size ring, and it's the same, the same act, the same moves. I think it was just, I don't know. I was probably nervous about screwing up or just not doing a good job or not doing what they wanted. But when I went out, and then Eugene started to get over, and then signs started coming, and people holding signs. I bought a ticket to see Eugene, and then I knew, like, oh my gosh. And WWE gave me a little bit, and I did well, and they give you a little bit more, and they give you a little bit more, and they do that, I think, expecting people to fail. And then they can say, okay, we gave him a shot, let's release him and try somebody else. And it didn't happen. I went from like a bumbling, comedy Eugene to all of a sudden I'm in the main event at SummerSlam with Triple H. It was like rocket, and it was surreal.
Yeah, like that match with Triple H, he was really vicious.
Well, it was tough because we were in Toronto, and the fans turned on Eugene. It was the first time the fans hated Eugene, cheering Triple H, and I'm following him, and he wants to have Triple H match, which is fine, but I think it could have been better. I don't know. But
the fans would always get sick of any character, really. Like you see with Roman Reigns, like for example, he was like absolutely hated for years. Mm-hmm. Now he's the bad guy. Now everyone loves him, but like still boos him. But like he's so over, like Roman at the moment.
Yeah.
Did you ever?
He's done well for himself.
Would you ever think of going, if you were to go back under a different character or a much darker kind of version of Eugene? What would you think about that?
Absolutely. I mean, people ask me, would you ever go back? Well, of course I would. I think people gripe, and you're going to gripe about any job you have, but they've given me a platform. They've given me a career. It's been phenomenal. I would do any character that, they would present before me. I don't know.
Yeah. Is it true that you played Doink the Clown a few times?
Twice. I was the 6th Doink the Clown. And I think Doink the Clown should be in the WWE Hall of Fame. This is a classic character. It's been on TV for over 20 years, instantly recognizable, and the people love him. The best part about having your own action figure? You get to play with yourself in public.